Each of us has his own needs when it comes to love and romance. Let us call it the language of love, and unless you are particularly gifted or have been born with natural skills, learning a different language can take time and be difficult. But to be able to communicate, you have to learn or be taught. So pay attention to your partner's needs. Listen to them with attentiveness and care. Like any language, it needs both parties to recognize and understand the words spoken. The language of love is what you, as an individual, need to feel cherished by your romantic partner, to feel that special affection that draws and holds you together. It is rare that both parties share the same language. Your particular needs may be the physical contact that is required to bond, holding hands, the touch on your shoulder that reassures, the encircling of your waist that gives you security, the intimacy of making love. Your partner's need may be to have the constancy of verbal reassurance, the words "I love you," or compliments, the comfort of your partner speaking of their most intimate feelings toward you. Perhaps love is expressed to you by the gifts you receive, the flowers, the presents, the act of giving that cement the relationship, the acts that make you feel loved, or the simple undertaking of domestic chores that your partner needs to know your love and commitment. They may come home from work to find their meal cooked, the children in bed, and a glass of wine ready for them. The easy actions of thoughtfulness and consideration that reaffirm your dedication to your relationship. Successful couples learn each other's language. It takes work and dedication to have happiness in a relationship. Love may be the language, but the aim is each other's happiness. It is contentment, the continuation of moments of happiness, that ensures commitment. Be mindful of your partner's contentment. It may not be enough that they seemingly have everything, but you have forgotten the words of reassurances they need to hear spoken in their own language of love. Once, I had a friend who thought he had the perfect marriage. He loved his wife. They had no money worries, lived in a beautiful home with 2 beautiful sons, new cars on the drive, exotic holidays every year. But he failed. His failure was not being able to translate the love he felt into the language his wife understood. He worked hard, provided for the family, lived his love for his wife through dedication to his family in action and thought, but he forgot the words of the language she needed. The words that went with his attentiveness to her needs, the thoughtfulness that was required by her to make her feel loved, the awareness that she wasn't just mother to his children, but was his life partner, his rock, his love, and his present and future. By not speaking the words of her language of love, he lost her. Yes, in bringing up the children, in their everyday life they talked, they walked side by side. But each day, because he didn't talk in the language of her love, imperceptibly, she moved a millimeter away. Focused on the family, he didn't notice when he did. Many days had passed, and though they still walked in the same direction, when he reached out for her, he couldn't find her. Their paths had remained parallel, but she had moved too far away, and he couldn't pull her back to him. He had lost her through his silence. Awareness and mindfulness are disciplines that apply to ourselves to achieve our own happiness, but should also be applied to the ones we hold close in love. Communication is the key. As in all relationships, it can be easy in those early days when you are striving to know the other person. When you are looking for compatibility, searching for your soulmate, the similarities or differences that make relationships work, the common dreams and hopes. Simply, when you are looking for your life partner to fall in love with. It is more difficult to maintain that level of communication when later the strains of life take hold. The stresses of work and money can drive you apart. When kids appear, the love of your children that should cement your relationship, solidify your commitment, instead can cause hairline fractures to appear, tiny cracks in the fabric. It is then you have to remember the language of love that your partner needs. Take time to remember the lexicon of that language of love. What you might need to hear, what you may have to say to them. Then talk to each other in those words to rekindle the flames of love. Make time for each other. Put time aside for each other. Listen to what is said and try hard to understand the needs of both. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. Remember that if this relationship matters to both of you, then you must work to make it right. It is a tragedy of life to lose love.